Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, people. International break. I am sick of it already. We're going to talk about Liverpool. I want to get your thoughts on it. Get into the comments. We're going to try and figure out what's going on with Liverpool. I'm going to be honest because I was saying after the Chelsea game that I was going to give them a lot of praise if they had got a draw because I didn't think the performance was that bad. It was a lot better than the Crystal Palace game. But we lost in the last minute. Really disappointing. But honestly, I don't think it's as bad as we're kind of making out. But we're going to try and figure it out. So get into the comments. Let me know what you think. The big one, of course, is Chiesa. Chiesa deserves more minutes. But we'll have to see what happens there. But Arsenal look strong. They do. They're favourites for the league. They're odds on now. Man City with a win against Brentford yesterday. Man City are strange this season. Pep Guardiola has completely changed the way he plays. He takes the lead and then he parks the bus. And he done the same with Brentford yesterday. It was a terrible game. But in the first half, they controlled every bit of possession, had a few chances, got the goal. Then in the second half, it was park the bus. They done the very same against Arsenal. And I tell you, I have to say fair play to Pep. Because last season, they were wide open. Teams were getting at them. This season, he said, you know what? We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. We're going to defend. And it worked. Do you think a diamond will fix us? I tell you, it's worth a try. It really is. Because, as I say, I don't think it's as bad as we make out. We created some chances against Chelsea. The final pass, and I think we would have scored another couple of goals. There's a couple of moments there in the second half. You know, McAllister gives the ball away when he had a simple pass down the line to Robertson. And then that could have been a goal. Salah misses 3 great chances. I think Arne Slot should just try something. Steve says, people have said that the manager is rotating, but you rotate players, not systems. We seem to play differently every game. Yeah, it's true because, as well, I get what you mean. It is the same system, but it's different players in different positions. I mean, Szoboszlai is not going to play the same as a conventional right back. You're not going to get the same from him. But, yeah, look, Szoboszlai right back experiment has to end, absolutely. He played well the first couple of games of the season whenever he played there, but we need to stick with a right back in the right back position. For me, Conor Bradley, he seems to have a problem with getting yellow cards at the moment. Put Frimpong in there. I'm not a big fan of Frimpong, but what we need is a right back that's going to be there, you know, consistent games, appearances. Put him in there. You look at Van Dijk, he's never taken out. That's what we need at a right back situation. Just pick one and play him. Do you see Frimpong turning it around? Look, I said this before. When Frimpong signed, I hadn't seen a lot of him last season. So I can only judge him on this season so far, which is not fair because he hasn't played a lot of games. Not a big fan of his. But as well, he hasn't played many minutes. So I think if he is going to turn it around, he needs to play games. But the way Liverpool are playing and the results are kind of going against us, Arne Slot just needs to try it. Many Liverpool fans are far too reactionary. They went from we're winning the lot to we're playing like a mid-table team overnight. Yes and no. Yes and no. Before the season started, we looked at the squad and we were saying this team is going to be special. This team is going to win everything. But the performances all season have not been good. We have actually been playing all season like a mid-table team. It's only the last week that we're getting results of a mid-table team, which is obviously disappointing. I think it is better we lost these games at this stage of the season. It is too early and the manager and players need to step up. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with this 100%. 100%. If you're going to play bad at any time during the season, make sure it's early in the season because we can recover. But yeah, the players need to start playing better. Paul says, my head's spinning. There seems so many questions. Yeah. I mean, at the start of the season, we were all very excited because it looked like nobody was going to stop this team. But unfortunately, it's taken a lot longer than we thought. Johnny says, stop playing players out of position does my head in. I'll tell you what does my head in. I agree with Johnny here. You know when Arne Slot against Chelsea took off, who did he take off? Kanate, and he put Ryan Gravenberch there. That drives me up the wall. It drives me up the wall. Soboslai has played right back. You know, his performances were brilliant. But when you take Gravenberch out of midfield, we're losing something in midfield as well as Soboslai. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hello Sam, welcome to the chat. I don't think it's as bad though. I don't think it's as bad. I was very encouraged by the performance against Chelsea. I think the last 10 minutes, it kind of got a little bit... I think Arne Slot, he got his substitutions wrong and it handed the initiative back to Chelsea. But other than that, I thought we were fairly comfortable in the game. Marmadashvili didn't have to pull off a save until around the 80th minute. I've supported Liverpool for 45 years. This is nothing to what I've been through with this club. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got, in my opinion, the most talented squad. We mightn't have the most balanced squad. We've got the most talented. There's some serious talent in that team. But, you know, this is nothing compared to Roy Hodgson years or Brendan Rodgers last season. You know, we're still in a decent position, lads. Ekitike and Isak with Wirtz behind, or Ekitike, Isak, Chiesa against the Manx. So in other words, would you drop Salah? I've seen a team today, somebody picked, Salah was not in it, and it was the two lads up front, Wirtz in behind them, and then the three boys in midfield. Gravenberch, McAllister, Soboslai, Wirtz ahead of them in number 10, Ekitike and Isak. That would allow the fullbacks then, will be the wide players. Look, I think Arne Slot should just try it. Seven new players in the squad, 8 wins out of 11 all competitions. It's the fans who had the high expectations after the signings, but it was always clear a lot of changes were made and it needed time. Yeah, absolutely. I think, look, we're all kind of guilty as football fans to be a little bit impatient. But it's not as bad as we're making out. Some of the performances have not been good. We're second in the table. We're a point behind Arsenal. So the fact that we are struggling to get them performances, but you see the talent we have. Like I say, we're only a point behind Arsenal. If we can get back to winning games. 3-5-2. Yeah. 2 up front. The main problem is our build-up when the goalkeeper and defenders have high number of touches. It's a problem. Rodri at Man City has one of the highest number of passes in recent years. Why is Kanate seem to be the one that's always looking for that killer pass? Where's the midfield? Kanate should be just handing it over to Gravenberch and he should be doing the rest. And you notice this season, Gravenberch is he's kind of drifted out of his position. Arne Slot has told him, look, you can go further forward. I don't think it works. I think he should be just saying, right, just sit there. That's your job. Same as last season. Steve says, yes, I'd bench Salah if only the selfishness and misses against Chelsea. I mean, yeah, he'd drive you mad at times. I love Mo Salah. He's a legend. Should have a statue outside Anfield. But honestly, sometimes just get your head up and pass the ball. The Leone injury has hurt us. If Gay doesn't want to come in January, then move on and bring someone else in. Lads, I read today that we're not signing anyone in January. We're going to wait till the summer. I think that's going to be a big mistake because their injury to Leone has changed things. Not getting Gay has changed things. We have to get somebody in January, but I read today they're not going to. Can't fault Marmadashvili for the goals. No, absolutely not. I thought he was solid. And you know, I'm not a big fan of his. I've been very critical of him, going off what I seen last season. But no, I thought he was very good against Chelsea. He didn't have much to do. It was only the 80th minute. He pulled off 2 great saves. You know, the goal wasn't his fault in the first half, and then the winner, unfortunately, wasn't his fault. Andy Robertson was so poor at that, wasn't he? Really, really poor at the back post. Defence was okay on Saturday. The first goal was worldly, couldn't do anything about it. But their winner was because Slot set us up for the draw. Yeah, absolutely. He brought on Endo. And when you bring on Endo, that's protecting what you have. So he completely handed the initiative back to Chelsea, which I was really disappointed with. I was hoping that Liverpool would be the one to go for it. But I think because we were after losing 2 games in a row, I think Arne Slot said, look lads, let's just get a draw. Let's not lose the game. A point away to Chelsea is not the worst result in the world. And it backfired, unfortunately, because Chelsea, they really went for it. And it was really down to the fact, the changes that Arne Slot made. I think he really did get it wrong. Steve says they have to sign a centre back in January. Ibu was well offered and Slot doesn't seem to trust Gomez. I'm surprised that Kanate is still playing. But I read today, no, I read that they weren't going to sign Gahey in January. Maybe they're going to sign somebody else. But honestly, I think the injury to Leone has definitely changed things. The fact that we didn't get Mark Gahey, I think we have to get somebody. We have to. Because imagine going into January and we're right in a title race. You've got the Champions League. I mean, we need somebody. Yeah, absolutely. When Slot brought on Endo, then he knew he was settling for the draw. But I do think it was because we lost 2 games and he was just trying to make sure we didn't lose the game, and unfortunately it backfired. I think the best thing would have been be on the front foot, try and get the winner, because I thought Liverpool were the better team. People are not talking about Gakpo, one-trick pony and the most predictable player in the squad. He never uses the Kirkes overlap because he always cuts in. Look at Kirkes last season playing with Semenyo. Great point. Yeah, really disappointed with Gakpo at times. Um, he's looked really, really off it. And there's so many times during games you see Kirkes, the pass is on and he just ignores him. He just cuts back in his right hand side. Star Chiesa put Gomez on for Kanata, yeah. I think a lot of people just want to see Chiesa now. What do you think about I know it's just Twitter trolls and idiots online, but people saying Arne Slot out. I mean, come on, lads. The man has won the Premier League in his first season. This is his first time that he's kind of going through a bad patch as Liverpool manager. Let's see what happens. I mean, to me, Arne Slot gets a free pass this season, at least. A free pass. Even if Liverpool were to finish 10th, I still wouldn't be talking about getting rid of the manager. The worldly goal was a direct result of neither centre-back closing down. They both backed off, especially Van Dijk. Really poor. It was really casual, wasn't it? It was almost like he was... Now look, it was a great goal. It was top corner. It was almost like he was just daring him to shoot. Basically saying, look, shoot, you're not going to score. Have a go. But unfortunately, he puts it in the top corner. We actually played well versus Chelsea last. The defence, again, let us down. Yeah, we actually did play well. Because even after the goal, we created a few half chances. Kirk's final pass. Soboslai final pass. Something, we were close. Then we get the equaliser. In my opinion, we looked like the only ones that were going to win the game. And then, as I said, the substitutions. Well, you've not been good in the last few games. Those aren't easy games to win. I'm not looking forward to going to Stamford Bridge or Selhurst Park. Yeah, look, that's a good point. I mean, Crystal Palace away. Crystal Palace are flying. Disappointed with the Chelsea one because they had so many injuries. But yeah, look, it is a difficult place to go. Crystal Palace anyway, and that's out of the way, and we're still only a point behind. Derek says, don't think the owners will give Slot a free pass after spending all that money. That's a good point too. That's a good point. But no, I think he gets this season. I really do. And I think this season it could take the first half of the season to get everybody, used to playing with each other. And I said it before, I think we're winning the Champions League. Ironic, Everton ended Palace's unbeaten run. Football is mad, people. Football is absolutely mad. I mean, Crystal Palace unbeaten in how many games ever was, and then Everton of all teams. They're actually playing well. Jack Grealish is playing well too. With all the signings, how long would it take for a new lads to gel? Do you think a full season or less? I haven't a clue. I'm going to say half the season. I said it in the summer. I think first half of the season, I think results are going to be up and down, and it's proven to be. But I think the second half of the season, lads, we are going to see a serious team. You know, you look at Salah and Isak there on Saturday, the header in the first half. You know, I mean, they're not even used to playing with each other. So they'll start to develop some, you know, they will click. I think they will. But it will take time. But I think that the first half of the season. What do you think is our best midfield three? The midfield from last season. The midfield from last season. At this moment in time. I think Florian Wirtz has to be on the bench. And that's not a big criticism of him. He's struggling at the moment. But I think Liverpool need to get back to being tough to beat. And at the moment, individual performances are really killing us. McAllister's not playing well. Gravenberch is not playing well. But if you get those three boys back together, we saw what they did last season. And if they just get back to playing well, I think that's our best midfield. And then as the season goes on, you can bring Wirtz off the bench and just let him kind of gradually get into the team, because the price tag is really forcing Arne Slot to play him. I know he was on the bench the other day, but it's big headlines. You know, and it shouldn't be, because it takes time. Michael says McAllister has been pony so far. He's been terrible. He's been absolutely terrible. You know what disappointed me as well? He's gone on international duty. Argentina, I think, have 2 friendlies. The club has to have a bit more power than that. The club has to be able to say, look, you're not going anywhere. Okay? You're just back from an injury. There are 2 friendlies. You're not playing. Simple as. Julian says Isak will still score 20 goals. I mean, the man is class. He's absolute class. It'll take him a bit of time to get used to his new teammates. But the man is class. He really is. And he just needs more games. He needs consecutive games. And you know what they all need? They need a game at Anfield that is just 3-4-0. And everybody's playing well and creating chances, just enjoying it. Confidence is up, because we haven't had a game like that all season. Every single game has been such a struggle, even the ones we won. You know, you look at Arsenal the other day. 2-0 standard, 1-0 at half time. You know, no drama. That's what Liverpool need. They need a game like that. I don't know about that. Slot looked clueless with the subs against Chelsea. Other clubs have worked us out and know to nullify our style of play. Yeah, that's a fair point. He got his subs wrong. He really did. But I think it's individual performances. I don't think it's so much the opposition have just figured us out. I think it's individual performances. Because you look at the amount of chances that we did create. You know, we should have scored more than 1 goal against Chelsea. But it's just the pass and the final pass. Some of the players are really playing poor. But I tell you, I'm still fairly confident that Liverpool will get it right this season. We'll win the Champions League. Paul asks, are you still confident at 21-7? I was really confident about number 7. I said at the start of the season, I don't think we're going to win the league this season, just because the first half of the season, it will take the players a lot of time to get used to each other. But I think we're winning the Champions League. I've said it before. I think there's too much talent in that squad for us not to gel. And the second half of the season, we're going to go on a run and we're winning the Champions League. And you see Barcelona lost 4-1 yesterday. You know, it's there to be won. I think it's there to be won. PSG are a good team, but I think we could beat them. I really do. Dermot says, we are not playing to Isak's strengths. Need to move the ball fast between the lines, and they will see Isak perform. He got no service. Slow service is no service. We are not even closing down. Yeah, it's true. I mean, a striker, when you're an out-and-out striker, it's all about service. You know, if the lads are not giving you the ball, what can you do? I mean, you see Haaland yesterday. Doesn't matter what Haaland does. Roy Keane has compared Erling Haaland to a League 2 player. That's because he wasn't getting the service. I mean, the man's on fire this season, though, isn't he? The club needs to have a serious meeting and decide whether they want to focus on the Premier League or the Champions League, because you are not good enough to win both. I mean, there's no need for that now. No need for that. But no, they're going to, the clubs don't have meetings about which one you're going to focus on. It's going to be whatever happens in the league happens, but I think we're winning the Champions League. A gigantic club like Liverpool need to go out and try and win every trophy, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Haaland is the only player keeping City in the mix at the minute, says Sam. Yeah, I've seen a stat yesterday. He's got 9 goals, and I think the closest, the next City player with the goals has 1, which is a crazy stat when you think they're only 3 points off the top. And I think that's why Pep is changing his style. I think he realises he can't do what he did last season. They were too open. But you can never write them off. Never write them off. City are good. I was disappointed with Brentford in the first half yesterday, though. Second half, they were much improved. But again, it was the tactics from City. But you can never write them off. Are you taking Arsenal serious? What do you reckon? I mean, Arsenal... Look, I know it's easy to kind of say that Arteta, he can't get them over the line. But they are looking tough to beat. They really are. And last season they had 14 draws. This season I don't see them dropping many points to mid-table teams. They've dropped points to Liverpool, they've dropped points to Man City this season so far. But they had 14 draws against teams that they probably should have beaten last season. A lot of them they should have beaten. I remember the drop points at Bournemouth, the drop points at Brighton. They should be beating those teams, and I think they will this season. I can't see them dropping many points to mid-table teams. I really can't. Yes, Arsenal look the real deal. Can't stand them. I don't want Arsenal to win. If it came down to Liverpool or out of it, I want City to win it. I don't want Arsenal to win it. I really don't. Basically because of Arteta. I mean, imagine the cringe. Arsenal's defence is class. It is. What have they conceded? 3 goals this season? 1 against Newcastle, 1 against Liverpool, 1 against City. Is that it? I mean, they are good, to be fair to them. He's built a solid defence. Dave says the same. The Gunners are looking very strong. They have an incredible defence to do. Do you know what to say? Defence wins championships. That's what they say in America. And I tell you, if Liverpool could just sort out the defence with the amount of talent we have up front, I think we give Arsenal a real run. Arsenal are good, but they can't put pressure on rivals in a title race. They seem to bottle it. This is the big thing, because it's early in the season. What, we got 7 games gone? Arsenal are top. They're odds on to win it. But if it's 7 games to go, history has shown they bottle it. They're not able for it. Whereas this Liverpool squad can look back at last season. They're champions. The likes of Mo Salah, Virgil, other players, they've won the Champions League. They were in pressure situations with Man City. So they're always able to go back to that, whereas Arsenal can't. So if Liverpool could just stay within 3-4 points as the season goes on, and the pressure will come on Arsenal. It really will. We won a league once, only conceding 16 goals. Chelsea have the record, isn't it? 15. Do you remember the defence we had in 2019 when we won the Champions League was one of the best in Europe? I think it was the best in Europe, actually. We need to get back to that. Clean sheets. Remember the interview that Virgil had with Joe Gomez? I think it was pre-season that year, or maybe it was the following season. But he was saying, I love clean sheets. I love clean sheets. We need to get back to getting clean sheets. Noel says Arsenal winning a league based on set pieces and Shehausen would not be good for the game or league. Absolutely. But there's nothing wrong with scoring from a set piece. I'd love Liverpool to score from more set pieces. But the problem is it's Arsenal's identity. Set piece FC, that shouldn't be the case after he spent, $1 billion. But I think this season, they're just looking so strong defensively. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Angel Wings from Australia. Shout out to her. Um, we miss Luis Diaz and Trent's creativity. Gakpo is very limited. Yeah, we do miss Trent. We really do. We really do. But look, he's gone. We can't keep saying, oh, if only Luis Diaz was there, if only Trent was there. He's gone. Simple as. Is Bajcetic still at Liverpool? He is indeed. But again, Arne Slot just doesn't rate him. But there's something up with Bajcetic because Jurgen Klopp seemed to like him, but didn't Jurgen Klopp send him out on loan as well? So you just wonder, is there something that we're not seeing? Because every time he's played for Liverpool, he's impressed me. But I just wonder, that's two managers now. Sam says Arsenal will most likely drop points to the tough away games we just had. Hopefully. Hopefully. I was hoping Newcastle would even get a draw the other week. How bad are Newcastle? Nick Pope. All he has to do is hold on to the ball and it's probably a draw. We need a top class winger who can beat defenders and lay on quality ball for our strikers. Yeah, absolutely. I'd give Rio and Gamoa a chance. I would. I'd start him in a few games. John asks, hi Dave, do you think if we lose against Man United, the league is over? Unfortunately, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, it really would be embarrassing. That'd be 4 defeats in a row. There has to be a reaction though, people. We're back at Anfield. Has to be. Benny says, I'm still confident. The 2 we lost, we could have won late. Just so happens we lost the last kicks. We'll be fine. Yeah, that's a good point too. We lost 2 games, last kick of the game. And I think if we had got the draw against Crystal Palace and we got the draw against Chelsea, I think we'd be sitting here, we'd be top of the table. We'd be saying, look, 2 tough games. We go over them and we're top of the table. So it's fine margins, people. It really is. Dermot says, I think international break this time might have come at the right time. Why the reporters never asked Klopp why he won't pick Chiesa in press conferences. I think they did ask him after the Chelsea game, but I think he said brought on Endo. I forget what he said actually. Something, he brought on Endo instead. But it was obviously just to protect what you had. But the international break has come at the right time for me. Because honestly, people, it was a bad week. I absolutely hate when Liverpool lose. Dave says, I can't see Arsenal dropping points away to Palace and Chelsea. Yeah, this is the problem. They just look so strong. The big difference at the moment with Arsenal and Liverpool is if Liverpool score 2 goals, you're thinking, right, that's enough to at least draw. If Arsenal score 2 goals, that's it. It's game over. They're winning. I mean, look, they've only conceded, 3 goals? So they're not conceding many goals. If they score 2 goals, they win. And Liverpool need to get back to that. The players are still grieving. Remember this. We are all different in our ways of dealing with it. So by that, yes, it's bad when they are not working together. They need us now more than ever. Absolutely. Spot on. I think we forget as football fans. It's very easy for us to forget because once the season started, we were like, right, great, back to football. Let's go for the title. But you have to remember these players, I mean, not just a teammate, a friend. They've played with him now for, when did he join? 2021 or 2020? So 5 years ago. And it must be heartbreaking for them because I've seen at the start of the season, they kept his place in the dressing room. Now, I don't know if that's still there. I mean, I imagine it is. So it must be heartbreaking. Little moments like that. We have to remember it's not easy on them. It really isn't. Let's be real here. Arsenal's home games been against out of form Forest and West Ham and promoted Leeds. We had Everton, Bournemouth, which are mid-table sides. Yeah, it's a good point. Can you judge Arsenal on the opposition they've played? I just think they look strong. I think they look strong defensively. I think last season they would have dropped points in those games. Our new signings didn't know Diogo. When we won our first 6 games, there was no talk of Diogo. Rest in peace. Yeah, look, that's a fair point. But remember the first game of the season after Bournemouth, we won that game and Salah was in bits. It's still affecting them. It's not afraid to drop Mo. Looking like it anyway. It really is. I think he needs to come out of the team, but he won't. Arne Slot won't drop him. But I think it could be good for the team if he got a rest. He's not playing well. The man is a legend. We know how good he can play, but he's just not playing well. So I think give Chiesa a go or try Ekitike and Isak up front with Wirtz in at the number 10. Try that diamond formation or something. You know, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know, but I can't see him dropping him. Plus, you have to remember, Mo Salah is the owner of Manchester United. So I'd imagine he's going to play that game. Does Slot not fancy Gomez? I know he wasn't perfect in the Carabao Cup, but surely Kanate can't carry on much longer full time. I was surprised that Kanate was playing against Chelsea, I'll be honest. Now, I know, as you say, Gomez, not good against Southampton. Really poor. But Kanate is not playing well. And whenever Gomez plays beside Virgil, the man is brilliant. And I was hoping that this was Joe Gomez's chance to get back into that team, get the partnership back going with Virgil. And unfortunately, Arne Slot, he doesn't like changing it. He really doesn't. Sam says, I saw a post the other day after 9 games last season, we had 22 points. At best, we can reach 21 points. To say Liverpool 1 point worse off than last season. Yeah, as I say, look, it's not as bad as we're making out. The problem for me is, you go back to last season, the amount of clean sheets we kept. I mean, that's what won us the league. We kept so many clean sheets. We're not keeping clean sheets anymore. We're conceding so many goals. Angel Wings, but in my opinion, 2 defenders in January and we will win 3 trophies, Premier League, Champions League, and 1 of the others. This is the confidence that we need, people. The confidence that we need. But are we going to get 2 defenders? I hope so. I think we're winning the Champions League. I'll be honest. Liverpool Jack Gomez was world class against Arsenal. He was absolutely brilliant. And that's why I was really surprised with his performance against Southampton. He was so poor. Because Leone was playing beside him. And you're kind of hoping that he would be the leader. He'd be, the man to kind of lead the back four. And he was so poor. He really was. Leone was the one who looked like he was the experienced player. Teams literally want Kanate on the ball. He can't play the ball out from the back. That is spot on. But yet he always seems to have it because our midfield seems to be all over the place. I read there earlier in the season, Ryan Gravenberch I think he gave an interview or something. I read the quote saying that he said Arne Slot said to him this season, you're going to be allowed to kind of play further upfield. I was like, why is he saying that to him? Like, why would you change it? If it's not broke, don't fix it. That midfield was fine. I don't mind if players leave or whatever and you're trying to figure it out. But the midfield three was there. Play them in their best position. Do you think Kirkes looks like more like a Moreno Mark II? Oh, Jesus, lads. I seen this going around. And I tell you, when somebody said it, I forget what game it was. But as soon as they said it, I was like, Jesus, he does look like him. He really does. I think he's the very same as Theo Vaughan. The comedian. But no, I think he will improve because, as I've said about Frimpong, I didn't see him last season. Florian Wirtz, I didn't see him last season. I can't really judge them. I can only judge them on what I'm seeing this season. I saw Kirkes last season. The man was brilliant. We all saw him. We all know how good Isak is. And Ekitike, I didn't see him last season. I'm judging him what I've seen. He's brilliant. But I'm surprised at Kirkes. I really am. David, I've lost faith in Bradley. Middle name is booked and his performances are so poor compared to last season. Yeah, they really are. I haven't lost faith in them, but they are really poor. Go back to this time last season. Remember we played Real Madrid? I think that was around the November. Trent was injured. Connor Bradley was absolutely brilliant. And everybody was saying, if Trent wants to go to Real Madrid, we're fine. We're sorted at right back. Connor Bradley, he'll be there for the next 10 years. So there's definitely a player there. He's just not playing well, and he needs to cut out these yellow cards. Sam said, I had a look back on your video on the first game of the season. I'm exhausted. I done the video straight after the Bournemouth game. I usually wait a couple of hours, but because it was so late, or I sometimes wait till the next day, I done it straight after the game. I was absolutely exhausted. Last minute winner, Chiesa. Salad in with the icing on the cake, but they really do. I go through with people. I must do a watch along so you can see how bad I get. I don't kind of be shouting and roaring. Just the heart has been fixed to jump out my chest, honestly. Have faith we will. David Slot has enough credit for us to at least give him time. Oh, he's going to get enough time. Absolutely. Imagine after the start that we've had. Well, we've had a decent start. But the criticism that we've had, that it ends with a treble. Wow, people. This is the confidence we need. We need this confidence. Ekatike really excites me. Much technically sound and a risk taker. I think he is pure class. Absolute class. If we had missed out on Isak, we all would have been disappointed. But I tell you, Ekatike would have made us get over it very quickly. The man is absolutely brilliant. And at the moment, now don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising Isak. I'm not saying he's no good or anything. We all know how great he is. And once he gets going. But for me, against Man United, Ekatike for me has to start. I think if he's going to play Isak, it needs to be in a 2 with Ekatike, but I think he has to start. He's been brilliant. Anyone heard the rumour about Maka needing to go under the knife, but they're delaying it for some reason? I didn't hear that. Anyone hear that? But there's something not right with him. He's definitely injured, but he still went on international duty. I really thought Ekatike would be like Bambi on ice, but he has surprised me. He surprised everyone, I think. But then it goes back to, did anyone really watch him last season? Like we all, whenever Liverpool sign a player from the German league or from wherever that we don't watch, or I don't watch, what do we all do? We go on YouTube, we type in highlights, and everybody looks like Messi. But you have to judge him on what you see. And honestly, Ekatike has been absolutely brilliant. So far, I mean, it's not even close, but he's been the best signing. He's been absolutely brilliant. Definitely missed Ekatike against Palace. Would have drawn or won that game. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, just the little touches and everything he does is just brilliant. He's a great finisher as well. You give him a chance, he scores. I'm a big fan of his. I really am. I was a big critic of FSG, but fair play to them for pumping in the money for the new signings. Look, I'm going to be honest, people. I was never really FSG out. Okay, I go back. I'm supporting Liverpool over 30 years. You know, through the bad times. I always thought they were good owners. The problem was we were competing with Man City, who were spending money like it was going out of fashion. And don't get me wrong, they could have backed Klopp a little bit more. But you look at the stadium, you look at the brand new training ground. The club is in such a healthy position, and that's down to the owners. And as well, look at the people that they've hired. Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, Arne Slot. You know, they're getting the best in class. So I was never FSG out, and they've really impressed me lately. So I think they've proven a lot of doubters into believers, as Jurgen Klopp would say. But no, I think they've quietened the FSG out. But a lot of people, to their credit, were, you know, they wanted better for Liverpool, and that's fair enough. But I do think that they have answered those questions, because this season or this summer, to spend the money they have, Rio needs more playing time. Yeah, I'm surprised. After he scored the winner against Newcastle, I thought, right, this is it. Arne Slot's going to give him a real chance. Hasn't really happened. No, he is very young, of course. And our roof at Anfield isn't leaking. Correct. The pesky Glazers. Those pesky Glazers, Ian. Isn't it mad? Whenever Man United lose, go and get the scarves. Go and get the scarves. There's always protests when they lose. When they win, kind of quietens down, doesn't it, all these protesting? But when they lose, go and get the scarves, people. But I tell you, we're not playing well at the moment, obviously. It doesn't matter how well we're playing or how poor we're playing. I will always be nervous about playing Manchester United. I never look forward to that game. Out of the last 4 league games, the Derby, we look like ourselves. The first 30 minutes against Everton, we were absolutely brilliant. But then we just kind of lost it a little bit, didn't we? You know, every game this season as well, every single game this season has been on the line going into injury time in the 90th minute. Either Liverpool are winning by a goal, it's a draw, or we're losing. I mean, honestly, it's not good for the heart. Johnny says, David, the problem with Liverpool in my eyes is Kirkes obviously being used at right back and the lack of grip and idea in midfield. Yeah, to me, when you look back at the great teams, they've all had a great midfield. Jurgen Klopp, when we won the league, Champions League in 2019, that midfield, very underrated. It was a hard-working midfield, very, very underrated. It had very few goals in it, but my God, that team, that midfield would work its socks off, very underrated. And you need that. You need a midfield. You look at the great Barcelona side, that midfield. To me, we have that midfield, but Arne Slot has gone away from it to try and get Florian Wirtz into that number 10 position. I just think he needs to go back to that. And then it comes down to individual performances as well. Paul asks, David, who's been your favourite manager? I love Paisley. Well, when I started supporting Liverpool, Roy Evans was the manager. So there was Roy Evans, Gerard Houllier, Rafa Benitez, Roy Hodgson, Brendan Rodgers, Jurgen Klopp, and now Arne Slot. So it's Jurgen Klopp because the others, some good ones, some really bad ones. But Jurgen Klopp won us the league. The man is a legend. Podge says, we have the players, we just need form. Yeah, I think we definitely have the talent. If we can just start to click, I think this is going to be a serious team. And I tell you, against Chelsea, I was not impressed. Impressed is the wrong word, but I was encouraged by the team. There was a couple of moments in that game where I was like, this team is going to be really good once they get going. Sam says, we are not getting bashed. We are in all the games, just got to click. Yeah, go ahead and into the 90th minute in every single game. It's either Liverpool are winning by a goal, it's a draw, or we're losing by a goal. So yeah, the games have been really, really close. We could have won every single one of those games. Unfortunately, we could have lost them all as well. Yeah, Klopp a brilliant guy as well as a manager. Yeah, I mean, Jurgen Klopp got us from basically mid-table to being competing for all the top trophies every single season. It was Man City or Liverpool. That was it. We have the habit of looking really up for it, then concede a goal. When we concede that first goal, it's a real killer. We actually played well against Chelsea up until the goal. Chelsea didn't really do much. Liverpool were playing well. And I was thinking, here we go. He's got that midfield back. We're going to win this game. And then all of a sudden we're 1-0 down. So poor. But it was a different performance than the Crystal Palace one. Because we should have been 4-0 down at half time against Crystal Palace. But it was completely different. Because, we didn't really give Chelsea that many chances. Make sure you hit the like button, everybody. We have to get the likes up. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. Really appreciate it. Klopp was sensational. If City weren't around, we would have had 2 more titles. I read something today. People were comparing Liverpool's form to Man United back in 97, I think. They lost 3 games in a row to Southampton, Newcastle, Southampton, Chelsea or someone. They ended up winning the league with 76 points. 76 points, people. I mean, honestly. Jurgen Klopp, 97 points and 90... Was it 92 points? Only 1 league title, honestly. Just... I remember, like in 2019, when we got 97 points, I could not just stop thinking about how could Liverpool just be the ones that have got 97 points and could not win the title? How? I actually thought we were cursed. I really did. Man United never even got close to 97 points and they got 13 of them. Crazy. Johnny says, Dave, you're a natural at this streaming, Lark. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, it was the goal when I started. As I said, the Wi-Fi was absolutely terrible at it. But I got it sorted. But yeah, the next thing is the watch-alongs. I'm going to try the watch-alongs. But it's different with me, people. It's different with me. Like, I love doing these live streams because I'm just, having a chat with you. When I do a watch along, I'd be so focused on the game. Honestly, I don't know how people look at the comments and look at the game, because I'd be edge of the seat. So I'll give it a go, but no promises, because I mean, if I was to do a watch along for the Man United game, honestly, people, you'd be just looking at me. I probably wouldn't be answering any comments or anything. I'd be too focused on the game. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks last season winning the league was down to individual brilliance from certain players, but I wasn't satisfied with the performances from last season either, but we won. Towards the end of last season, even before we secured the title, wasn't great. But the individual performances, I mean, look back at every title winning team. There's always been the individual performances. Always. Every single great team has had it. So I don't mind that. I understand what you mean. But yeah, towards the end of last season, really around the PSG game, we didn't really play well. I remember away to Everton, away to Aston Villa, at home to Everton. Not great performances. We found a way to not lose and to win those games. But yeah, it seems to be kind of dragging into this season as well. But full confidence in Arne Slot to get it right. Sam says, in 2022, it was the Spurs game at home that cost us, but City could have easily won West Ham and drawn to Villa. Yeah, we drew with Spurs, because we went to the Etihad and we got a draw. And then we drew with Spurs a couple of weeks after that. We won the league last season with 10 points. Would have been more, but we took the foot off the pedal as we had secured the title. Yeah, the last, 5 games? Yeah, we did, absolutely. I mean, I'm not counting those games, but I'm just talking before we secured the title. There was a couple of performances that were a little bit dodgy, shall we say. But look, last season for me, I'm surprised that a lot of people are... Look, every player and every manager deserves a bit of criticism when it's not going right, but we can't forget last season, people. We can't forget last season. I mean, honestly, Arne Slot is a legend. To win the Premier League in his first season. Jason says, I am Liverpool, and at the moment we just have to suck it in and take it. Other fans can only dream of being us or just having a moment. Look, as you know on this channel, I love when Gary Neville gets an old prediction wrong. I love when AFTV get a prediction wrong. I love when Arsenal lose. And I love when Liverpool win. But when we are losing, we just have to take it. We just have to take it. But I tell you as well, you look at Man City, for example. City have had a kind of an up and down start to the season as well, but they've had some really good performances against Wolves, against Man United, against Burnley. Liverpool have not had one good performance. I'd rather be where Liverpool are on the table than Man City. That's no disrespect to Man City, but I'm just saying that, as long as the performances are one thing, but we have been winning games. It's not like we're mid-table. I can't listen to Neville. I turned the volume down. First game the other day against Chelsea. I can't listen to the lads in the studio anymore because they're just woeful. So I turned it on at 5:30 and I was like, oh, Gary Neville, mute. And the whole game I watched it in mute. Can't listen to him. Honestly, cannot listen to him. I think he's the most unprofessional commentator I've ever seen. I'm not a big fan of Jamie Carragher either. But you ever notice when Man United are playing Liverpool and they have those cameras in the gantry? Whenever Liverpool score, you can't hear Jamie Carragher. He's celebrating, but he's not saying a word. But then Gary Neville, all you hear is cheering. I just think it's unprofessional. I really do. Because I don't want to listen to that. And to be fair, when Jamie Carragher said, Mo Salah, you little dancer, he shouldn't be saying that either. Be professional. You're supposed to be neutral. It just drives me mad. Why on earth did Slot send Endo in and kept Chiesa on the bench? Yeah, that's the question everyone's asking. Endo bringing it, and I tell you, Endo, he's not playing well this season. So last season when we seen Endo coming in, it was like, right, that's it, game over, we've won, but he's not playing well. Gary saying the touch from Alex for the assist was unintentional, was laughable. Do you think he meant it? I don't think he did. I really don't. I think he was trying to bring it down for himself. But he gets the assist. Correct. Endo is poor. Yeah, he was really poor. Terrible against Southampton as well. Really surprised me. I switched to another channel to watch the Chelsea game. Neville was paying me off so much. He drives me mad, lads. Honestly. He drives me up the wall. I can't stand him. He should not be commentating on Liverpool games. Because and I get it, he's a Man United legend. I get it, he hates Liverpool. I've no problem with that. But he has made it known many, many times how much he doesn't want Liverpool to win, how much he hates Liverpool, all of this, but yet they keep putting him on Liverpool games. It makes no sense to me. I think Sky have some decent commentators. I think Don Goodman is a very good commentator. Put him on it. Alan Smith, put him on it. Why did they keep putting Gary Neville on Liverpool games? I'll never know, honestly. Arsenal have quite a few new players as well, though, and they're doing well, let's be honest. I can't stand them, by the way. Yeah, they do. Look, you have to say they do. But I think the big difference, they have not changed their back four. We have. We've got 2 new full-backs. And Arne Slot is not sure what right back to play. Arteta is fairly solid with the back four. His midfield, he's put Zumbabeni in there. And I think he actually improves them. Liverpool's midfield is still the same with the players, but he's trying to get Florian Wirtz in there. So the big difference is Arsenal have added Zubimendi, but they're still playing the same way. Liverpool are not playing the same way because they're trying to bring in that number 10, which they didn't have last season. So the kind of makeup of the team has changed, but it hasn't for Arsenal. So Arsenal have signed a lot of players, they have. But they haven't changed it the way Liverpool have. But Arsenal are strong. But can you imagine Arsenal win the league? Ah, Jesus, lads. They'd wind you up, wouldn't they? I actually used to like Arsenal. I thought they were a classy club. But since AFTV came out, they're just cringe. You can't have them win the league. And I do like Arsenal fans. I've friends that are Arsenal fans, no problem. They're sound. You know, they love Arsenal Football Club. They actually don't like AFTV either. But you don't want to see the AFTV winning the league, no way. So many Arsenal fans in my town. Yeah, I don't mind Arsenal fans at all. It's just that channel. There's a lot of few Arsenal fans in work as well, and they're sound. You know, they'll talk football. You know, they'll criticise the team when they need it, praise when they need it. They don't go overboard. Um, I would be happy for anyone except these top gooners. Yeah, they're just. I read something today. When Liverpool are not playing well, Liverpool fans will say, we're not playing well, we're playing like a mid-table team, blah, blah, blah. Arsenal, it's always, when Liverpool are playing well, Arsenal are always, oh, it's PGMOL, it's VAR, it's this, it's that. Rather City win it, or an underdog side, to be honest, than Arsenal, yeah. I said the same earlier. If Liverpool can't win it, um, I want City to win it. I do. Steven says, I've commented before about Salah being off this season. We're playing with 10 men. How about Frimpong playing there and Isak and Nekatika up front? Frimpong has the legs to track back when needed. Yeah, look, I think Salah needs to come out of the team for a while. Personally, I wouldn't play Frimpong there. We tried it against Galatasaray. He wasn't too bad, to be fair, but he's not at Salah's level. If Salah plays well, the man is one of the best in the world. But I would play the two lads up front with Florian Wirtz in the number 10 position and a normal midfield three, and try that. Yeah, this is what you're dealing with them. Remember when they said they are the best team in Europe because they beat PSG on XG? I mean, they were going mad there at the Ballon d'Or. Was it the PSG president or someone said that Liverpool were their toughest opponents last season? I hope Firth succeeds in his own way. Our new 10 after Coutinho, but I don't think it would be Coutinho levels of world class, like scoring free kicks and bangers from 30 yards and turning the game from nothing. Do you know what really annoyed me the other week? Florian Wirtz, when he was at Germany, scored a brilliant free kick. Liverpool got a free kick against Crystal Palace. They wouldn't let him near it. Salah took it, and I think it hit the wall. So I actually think he's probably a little bit shy in the squad. I see some of the behind the scenes videos as well. He doesn't seem to be as confident as some of the players. Maybe that's just his personality. But I think he needs to be kind of, give me the ball because I'm going to do something here. And I don't think he's quite at that yet. Alan Smith is not much better for different reasons. He has a check sheet to make sure he says all the obvious statements. Game of two halves, check. They deserve that goal, check, etc. I'd rather listen to that than to Gary Neville. But that's just me. Alisson saves that first goal at Chelsea. I actually texted a friend of mine and I said goalkeeper when the goal went in. But I think it was being a bit harsh. I don't know. He did get his fingers to it, but no, I think we're being a bit harsh on him now to blame him for that. I think it was a great finish. He's really introverted. He won't assert himself for a while, I reckon. Yeah, this is about Florian Wirtz. He just seems a bit shy around, the behind the scenes stuff. And the type of player he is, he's like as if he needs to be really confident with what he's doing. But it will come in time. David, do you reckon Isak and Ekatik could play together? Absolutely. Two class players. They'd figure it out. And I think the fact that we've got two brilliant players, I think Arne Slot has to try it. Just try it. I mean, Ekitike has not done a thing wrong. And can you imagine we keep putting him on the bench? He doesn't deserve that. I'm not saying Isak, just take him out of the team or anything. But you have to play. I think Ekitike has to play against Man United. I think he has to play against Man United. But it's Man United. As long as we beat them, I don't care who plays. As long as we beat them. I'm especially upset about losing. Finally saved up enough to get a shirt and we have lost every game since. There's some price in them jerseys, isn't there? They're shocking dear. Podge says if Mo had scored a pass from Florian Wirtz, it would have been class. I'm not joking, yes. It would have been one of the greatest assists we've ever seen. That was just a moment of genius. And I said in my video after the Chelsea game, Florian Wirtz has got a lot of criticism, but there's times when he must be scratching his head saying, lads, it's on a plate for you. Will you at least hit the target? What more can I do? Paid €110 a couple of weeks ago for our green jersey. Lost every game since. If that was me, I couldn't wear it. I'm too superstitious. Some price though. It really is. And what's this? There was, I think it was the away one, the white one. There was one jersey like €100, and then there was another one €150. Is there a difference? Get a strong defence, strong midfield with Ekitike and Isak up front. Go back to a 4-4-2. Did Arne Slot ever play a 4-4-2? I don't think he has. But I think he has to try something. Johnny says, why didn't Macca get the surgery in May? What surgery was he supposed to get? Because this is making sense now. Because he's not playing well at all. He's not playing well, and it sickens me that he's gone to Argentina. Absolutely. Is it better to be on top or the team chasing? For Liverpool, it's better to be on top. It's better to be on top. Or is it? But against Man City, when we were coming up against Man City, we were the ones that were leading, and they always caught us. Last season we ran away with it. I don't know, actually. I think if Arsenal are leading with about 10 games to go, I think they could bottle it. But I think Liverpool would hold on. It's hard to know, really is. I mean, there's arguments for both because it has happened both ways. But as long as Liverpool win, doesn't matter. Also, you a Hawks fan, I am too. Huge NFL fan. Huge NFL fan. I was The first Super Bowl I watched was in 2002, New England Patriots. So no, I don't really have a team, but I just love the NFL. Seattle Seahawks jumper. Um, I read a book years ago about Dallas Cowboys. Boys will be boys. If you haven't read it, read it. It is phenomenal. So yeah, huge fan of the NFL. But Liverpool is, of course, the number one. Lee Gunner thinks Arteta should be sacked. I think Lee Gunner's brilliant. I think he's the best football YouTuber, whatever you want to call. I think he's the best on it. I think his streams are deadly. He speaks facts, to be fair to him. And he doesn't buy into, he doesn't get overexcited when Arsenal win a game. He's always criticising them when they deserve it. I think he's very good. James has been tight-lipped about it, but I remember Slot being very adamant once we won the league that McAllister would not play another minute, so there was something. Yeah. Anyone know what this is about? McAllister. What on there now when I Google it here? McAllister. No, there's nothing really there. Anyway. He's gone off to Argentina again. I love that Lee Gunner has kept the standards up for Arsenal. Hates that they play like Stoke City. Yeah, I think Lee Gunner is brilliant online. I really do. I think he's the best Arsenal fan on YouTube. He speaks nothing but facts. There's a few times where I've had the Arsenal match on and I've had Lee's stream on because I think he's brilliant. I really do. Big fan of his. This is a great show, David. Fair play to you. Thanks very much. What are we going to do for 2 weeks of the international break? Ireland are playing Portugal. Standard 4-0 win there, of course. Ireland. We're going to the World Cup, lads. I haven't said in what sport, but we're going. Absolutely hate international break. Do you know what I seen today? Do you remember 20 years ago, David Beckham scored that free kick against Greece? So everybody was saying, what a great moment this was. Brilliant. The most overrated moment in football history was that free kick. The most overrated moment. Because if he misses the free kick, England get to a playoff. The free kick got them to the World Cup. They didn't even win the World Cup. If they had went on to win the World Cup, you could say, wow, that's the moment that got them there, that won it. To me, it's the most overrated moment in football history. Great free kick, fair play to him. But honestly, people, you'd swear they won the World Cup. Confidence is a big thing. If we can stop United on the 18th, then the team will click going forward. Yeah, this could be the turning point. Because it is our biggest, most hated rivals, Manchester United. Paul is heading off. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Do you think Liverpool's performance after the international break will be just as bad, or will they be like, right, come on, lads, we need to respond here? There has to be a reaction. Amorim hasn't won back-to-back games in over a year, and they did beat Sunderland. So, yeah, I know. I'm well aware. I'm well aware of this. I am dreading it. What are the chances? Honestly. I've seen something today as well. The Big Six. The last time they all lost 4 games in a row. United is a year. City was a year. I think Tottenham was a year. Arsenal, I'm not sure, would maybe 7 years or something. Chelsea, I think, was 5 or 6 years or something. Liverpool, 38 years. Crazy, people. We cannot let that happen to Man United. We just can't. Smash the like button, everyone. My thoughts exactly. Some of the team didn't go to international duty, so they should be fine. Some of them didn't, but some of them did. A lot of them did. The clubs have to have more power when it comes to the likes of this. They shouldn't be allowing players to go to play friendlies. They just shouldn't. Dylan says, Kanate has to be dropped. His head is already in Madrid. He was injured against Chelsea. I'd give Joe Gomez a chance against United. Put him and Virgil back together. Get the band back together. Imagine Gary Neville's face, Man United win. I'll never watch Sky again. This is the problem, people. This is the problem. God forbid that man was professional. Not happening. Slot needs to start trusting the absolute legends, Chiesa and Gomez. Gomez is better on the ball and Chiesa is straightforward with his ball carrying. This is the big criticism of Arne Slot at the moment is Chiesa. Chiesa is not getting a chance. And the problem is there's no reason why he shouldn't get a chance. Mo Salah's not playing well. Gakpo's not playing well. And Chiesa is playing well. He hasn't got many chances last season, but he's got a lot of chances this season, and he has taken every single one of them. He played against Southampton the full game, I think, or he started anyway. Man of the match. Came off the bench against Palace, Bournemouth. Gets the goals. There's no reason for him not to play him now. And this is where the criticism really comes in, because last season, a few of the games that Chiesa did play, he wasn't great. So it was almost justified where Arne Slot wasn't playing him. But there's no reason not to play him anymore. You know, if he's fully fit and he can play, and you put him on the bench, which means you can bring him off the bench, he has to play. He has to play. Because he's a player in form. And that's what we need. That's why you want Ekitike to play against United. He's a player in form. That's what we need, people. We need to get back to picking the best player. Not the best player, sorry. The players in form. Before Chiesa's big injury, he was world class. Now he's fit. He can get back to that level again. Exactly. If he plays. Exactly. He can. And you can see glimpses of it. But he just needs games. He just needs those consistent appearances. And that's the biggest criticism, as I say, on Arne Slot. That he won't play him. And he was a top player too, wasn't he? We were always linked with him too, and even when Jurgen Klopp was there, we were always linked with him. I hate United. Turn up at Anfield all the time. Since the 7-0, what's it been? 2 draws, a 0-0 and a 2-all. Do you remember after the 7-0 the following fixture at Anfield? the following season, I mean. Everyone said, oh, it could be 6 or 7. It could be 8-0 this season. It was never going to be that. Man United made sure that that was never going to happen again. They parked the bus. They got a 0-0 draw. They will do the same. They'll do the same. They'll play counter-attacking football. They'll see the struggles that Liverpool have, and they'll do anything they can to get a result. Liverpool have to win this game. Do you think Slot refusing to play Chiesa has anything to do with the club bringing him in last summer without his okay? And he's still trying to prove a point to the board? No, I don't think so. I'll be honest. I don't think so. Because Chiesa could have been sold this summer. You know, there was interest in Italy. I think the player himself wanted to stay. For some reason, Arne Slot just doesn't rate him. But he has given him minutes this season. And Chiesa he's grabbed that opportunity. But no, I don't think it's anything to do with the board or anything. And that 0-0 draw was just before Christmas. United actually had the best chance of the game. That's true. Was that first half Highland, was it? No? Or Garnacho, someone. Anyway. Yeah, Trent had a great chance in the second half. He just put a shot wide. Other than that, it was a terrible game. But United came there, parked the bus, they were going to play counter-attacking football. That's exactly what they're going to do. When was the last time we beat them at Anfield? The 7-0. The 7-0. 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. It's been 2 draws in the seasons after. And remember last season? Trent had one of his worst games for Liverpool. Hi from Malaysia. Hi from Ireland. I think our problem is versus role and price tag disturbed the position is obviously and been superb on press and no Maka performance dropping. What's the best option? This is a good point because if Florian Wirtz was to cost, say, 30-35 million, nobody would be mentioning if Arne Slot dropped him. But now it's headlines. So I wonder, does the manager kind of have to play him? I have to get him into this team. We've spent so much money on him. We have to play him in number 10. We're going to have to play him. It doesn't matter. Play him out of position. We have to get him onto the field. So yeah, it is a problem. We need to go back to the midfield three from last season. $7-0. I never get tired of watching that. I'm going to say something mad here now. Do you remember the 5-0 at Old Trafford? Liverpool played better in the 5-0 than they did at the 7-0. We were 1-0 up at half time in the 7-0. And it was a fairly even first half. But the second half, we just... Every chance... Like, we scored 7 goals that day. We had 8 shots on target. Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp played a lot better. The 4-0 actually. The 4-0 in 2022, we played way better than the 7-0. It's just mad the way sometimes it works out. 8 shots on target, we scored 7 goals. But the 4-0 in 2022, for me, that was the best performance under Jurgen Klopp against Man United. For me, anyway. The worst Liverpool United stat is Liverpool haven't beaten United in the FA Cup for over 100 years. That's not true. Remember Peter Crouch? 2006. Peter Crouch got the winner. Was that the game Alan Smith broke his leg? No. Or was that the league game? Anyway, Peter Crouch scored the winner that day. But that was the... Was that the quarterfinals? Yeah. Peter Crouch. The international break makes me sick, and especially with Ireland being absolutely shit. Yes. Absolutely terrible we are. And I tell you, Ireland have there's no real talent or anything, isn't there? We've got players from the Championship playing with us. Remember back in the day, players from Liverpool, Arsenal, United, the best of the English League, the old English League, obviously, but even go back to the 90s, the Premier League, we had some unbelievable players. Now it's just so poor. Sorry, over 100 days in the FA Cup. Absolutely. Wirtz's good skills will be effective against Man United, but we also need real grit and determination from him and throughout miss the team. Yes, absolutely. We have to use Anfield. Simple as, these 3 away games that we lost, get back to Anfield. First 20 minutes, go after them. International football is bullshit, full stop. There's another international break next month. What is going on? Did they add an extra one? Honestly. What time are we now? 10 to 10. Calling it a night at 10 o'clock, people. Appreciate everyone who is joining me tonight. Christine, a bit late, David. Didn't realise you were doing a live. Scotland aren't that good either. Not just Ireland. Oh, we're all struggling, Christine. We're all struggling. Even England. England's games are just boring. They win them, but they're boring. International break in November too. Why are they doing this to me? Have you seen the price of World Cup tickets? Shocking. Doesn't really concern me. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't concern me. No, all joking aside, this is the problem. They're going to price the normal people out of these games. The tickets are going to be too expensive. Normal working class people are not going to be able to afford to go. Liverpool chat. I meant at Old Trafford for over 100 years. My apologies, yes. That's not a great stat. But it's not like we play them every season at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. So, how many fixtures are we talking? I'd have Ekatike in the 10 and Isak in front of him with Wirtz in Mo's role. Interesting. Again, Arne Slot should just try it. How many times have United beat Liverpool in the FA Cup at Anfield? Right, they haven't beaten us since I've supported them anyway. In the 80s, maybe. I'm not sure. Not at Anfield anyway. Of course, we all remember that 2-1 at Old Trafford. Oh, Jesus, please. Oh, jeez, that was terrible. 99. I can't remember any. Yeah, I can't remember any either. Like, I don't think there is one in the last 30 years anyway. Not at Anfield. Thanks for the stream. I love these. Let's have lots more. Watch along will be great too. I'm off walking the dog now. Bye from Derbyshire. It's a bit late to be walking the dog, is it no? We have very tough fixtures in the month of November and December, both in Champions League and Premier League, so we have to improve. Yep. It's true. It's true. But I think we will. I think we'll get back to winning ways fairly soon. Marmalashvili is a top goalkeeper, but his feet are horrendous the way we play. I can't actually see a world where he is the future after all. Never rated him, to be honest with you. Things I've seen last season. Not a big fan of his. In 99 we went 1-0 up with Owen. A couple of late goals from... Oh, I remember it well. I remember it well. Oh, Jesus, boys, I remembered well. Fucking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Although United absolutely battered us that day. They really did in the second half. I remember they hit the post. Andy Gray was commentating on it. And when they hit the post, he said, oh, when something like that happens, you just get the feeling that it's Liverpool's day. Oh, for fuck's sake. Drove me up the wall. Maybe the United game is too nervy a game for a watch-along, but maybe Eintracht Frankfurt or something. See, this is the thing. The watch-along might be actually better for the United game because there's so much at stake. It's such a big game. The Eintracht Frankfurt game, I said we're winning the Champions League anyway, so I'll have to see. But yeah, might give it a go. Best Irish player ever to play for Liverpool. Ronnie Whelan, for me. We've had some good ones, but Ronnie Whelan. Ronnie Whelan signed with Liverpool when he was about 17, 18. I think Liverpool had just won the European Cup. He went pretty much straight into the team. I mean, he ends up captaining the team. He wins it all. Ronnie Whelan, legend. $1979 last time they beat us at Anfield 1-0. Before my time. I was born in 84. Only 5 years before my time. Which isn't getting old. Steve Finnan was severely underrated. Legend. Any of those players that played in 2005. Legend. Stevie Hybe is the reason I started supporting Liverpool. On the wing. Great player. Really was. Stevie Hybe on the wing. There's a great Irish connection with Liverpool anyway, isn't there? There really is. Am I including Igor Biscan? Absolutely. He was part of the 2005 team. Jimmy Traore, legend. Biscan, legend. Honestly, I'm not even joking. Anybody who had anything to do with that 2005 team, legends. Keegan, my first hero. Kevin Keegan, boy. What a player he was. We have never won a league without a Scot or Irish man in it. But we still have Andy Robertson. Conor Bradley. We'll go with Conor Bradley. He doesn't play with Republic of Ireland, but he's Irish. We'll call him Irish. Could be a bit controversial, but we'll call him Irish. Where's that one? Did you happen to see Celtic's VAR call in Europa League? If that happened to Liverpool, I'd still be fuming. I thought it was bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Clearly hits his head. I did see another replay where it looked like it did come off his arm. But for me, it wasn't clear and obvious. The goal was given. I mean, you watch 10 replays and you're thinking, it hits his head, clearly. So yeah, I would have been fuming. I recall Houghton, Babb and Staunton from the Irish Brigade, yeah. Oh jeez, Phil Babb drove me mad, lads. He drove me mad. Couldn't stand him. Didn't like him at all. I thought he was crap. Bradley considers himself Irish. So that means there's an Irishman and a Scotsman in the squad. We're winning the league. It's done. He was shocking. Absolutely shocking. He drove me mad. Oh, I couldn't stand him. Right, people. I think it's time to call it a night. So thanks very much for joining us. And yeah, we'll do another one before the international break is over anyway. Still be making a few videos anyway. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. And yeah, we'll talk very, very soon.